Can't really
Ah,
complain.
I'm jelly.
Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Your Dependable Partners Smooth Move. And today we have a wonderful guest. Her name is Stephanie Perkaus with Caring People Home Health, and she has an amazing spirit, a huge heart, and she really knows what she's doing. So, Stephanie, why don't you tell us a little bit about your company and what you do?
Hi, Joelle. Sorry, it froze up a little bit. My name is Stephanie Perkis. I am with Caring People, and we are a private home care company that does private duty, which is the aides. We do
Mhm.
private skilled, which would be nursing, both LPNs and RNs, and private care management, which is a little bit different. We can go into more detail on that if you'd like.
Yeah, I would love to. I think people hear the word care management and they have an idea in their head, but I'm not sure that idea is correct. Just like, you think of a German Shepherd and everybody sees something a little different.
Yes. So, private care management involves it can be a nurse or social worker or both. Right now, our team is apprised of just nurses at this point, and they can do a variety of things, but mainly they're going to help people navigate if they're having a complex situation, rather it's with their health or it could be health involved with, they may need to move and there may be a lot of other things going on, and they're going to help with all that. Mostly people reach out when they're having complex health issues, which would involve a cancer diagnosis or an Alzheimer's diagnosis or Parkinson's diagnosis. And they have a lot of things going on, like MRIs, and they have appointments
Mhm,
with neurologists and maybe a
mhm.
neuropsychiatrist. So um, the care manager will help facilitate making sure all those appointments are made, making sure the client is aware and gets to the appointments, making sure that the results are received and that everyone is on the same page with the results and what the next steps are. So they also will get into many other things. Once a client gets a care manager and they really trust them, then they're calling them for just about everything, which is
Mhm.
great. And excuse me, and the care manager will be there to help them and guide them. If it's something that they need that we wouldn't do, then we will guide them and make sure someone helps them.
Okay, and that's private pay, right?
Yes, ma'am. It's private
Okay.
pay.
I mean, it's a
Stephanie,
wonderful thing because I moved here to live with my parents and help them, and I know that just managing their meds, managing all their doctor's appointments, going with them to all their doctor's appointments, making sure we get the results. It's just all consuming almost. Um,
Yes, it can be maddening, especially if you're trying to work or do
yes.
other activities outside the home and
Hmm.
they aren't, your sole focus in life. And a lot
Right.
of times, as you know, as we all know, because of the business you do, that seniors are here alone. They
Yeah.
don't, they move here, they're here alone, they don't have a family member, and the family's out of town. And it's not that the family doesn't care, it's just very difficult to handle it from,
Sure.
a distance.
well,
So
Sure.
it's
And
yes.
it
yeah.
can
And
be even
additionally,
worse. It can be
you
even
don't,
worse because
Brian, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I said it could be even worse than that because
Hmm.
you can have a child, in Tennessee and another one in California and another
Right.
one
Yes.
in New York, and what I keep hearing is quarterback.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
Good analogy.
and quarterback is so critical, um,
Yes.
for so many different reasons, as you know, Stephanie, because um, in terms of the medical alone, each component of this is overwhelming. The medical part,
Mhm.
the financial part, the physical part, all of it can be just craziness. And when you have multiple siblings, I was blessed, Stephanie. I'm an only child. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's a blessing or a
I was
curse,
just, I was just
right?
going to say that.
It could be a blessing in some families and a curse in some families, but it
Mhm.
is what it is. And so I became the de facto quarterback and I couldn't throw passes. I didn't even know how to play the game. And so
Mhm.
to have a professional with the experience that you have and the background that you have, because we've spoken before, and your background is just so wonderful. So to have one central person, everybody can kind of come together and listen to, hopefully, which is a whole
Yes.
separate issue in families, right?
Yes, it
But
is.
but but to have one central person with the extensive background and more importantly the caring that you have, it's
Mm,
tremendous. And
Thank
that's why
you.
I'm so thrilled
Yes.
that our listeners are able to hear this.
right.
Yes.
And
Thank you.
the other thing is, even if you have family members present, sometimes they don't want to listen to the family member because they're so close to you. You're the easiest person to lash out at. So sometimes you need
Yes.
that third party endorsement. Like for me, sometimes I have to tell my sister, hey, when you come down to visit, you got to talk to them about this or that because they're not listening to me and they listen to you because you're one step away. So I think
Yes.
it makes a big difference to have a third person, not just in the case management, but in the care itself, because
Yes.
sometimes we don't want to see ourselves as needing care because that in our minds is that we're weak, right? And nobody wants to think of themselves as aging. So that's another big component. And you said you use all RNs.
Well, we use, yes, right now our care management team is all RNs. I'm an LPN by trade. I mean, that's what I went to school for, but I have all the experience. So I've done private care management myself for a couple
Oh, okay.
years on and off. So I do have the background, the experience. It's just knowing to listen to your client, to see what their needs are, and a lot of times I like to do, if the client is willing to do a face to face with them, it's
Sure.
important because as a nurse, the minute we walk in the door, we're assessing someone. We're looking at them, we're looking how they look, how they're dressed. Not that I'm not saying like clothes wise, like, are they dressed expensively? I'm talking about neat,
Clean. Uh-huh.
clean, and that they don't look like they're struggling. So
You know, yes.
and then if we see somebody short of breath or we see somebody with a lot of swelling in their body, then that's
Mhm.
all things that we don't see on the telephone.
Sure.
So I try to, if they'll let me, do a face to face with them. Sometimes the care is critical and there's not time to go do a face to face. They need somebody and they need somebody today,
Mhm.
by this evening or whatever it may be. But I know we talked about it's private pay, but we do take long term care insurance and we
Oh,
will
great.
work with veterans for aid and attendance.
Oh, that's a big deal.
So,
Okay.
yes, so those are all important things. There are some ways, around that care, if they don't have the money. There's lots of programs out there. And if we can't help them, I will guide them to someone that can help them. So,
That's
um,
huge. I mean,
yeah.
that you know what, Stephanie, you just summed up the name of your company.
That's right.
Yes. Yes. We strongly, and this is a company that I didn't know a lot about before I took the job. I did a little research on them. I liked the one rep that I talked to. That's how I found the job. And she was very caring, very down to earth, very, she wanted what was best for the client. She wasn't like all about, let's, talk about money. That's not what she was about. And it's probably the point I was getting to. It's probably one of the most philanthropic companies I've worked for. They don't want to just take from the community, they want to give back to the community. And they want to work within the communities to give back. So it is a good company. Yes, thank you.
Wow, that's good to know. Stephanie, is there like a success story you would like to tell us about? That's always helpful.
Ah, well, unfortunately, my couple cases I've had, they waited a little long to get the care. And
Mhm.
my first case, they were very it was a husband and wife case. She was on board because she was struggling. She had some health issues and she needed help around the house with doing the laundry, with prepping meals, with maybe helping the husband who didn't get around well. But we got in there. We were in there for a couple weeks successfully, and the wife was very much enjoying the help because she really was struggling. And the husband, who was a little bit resistant, let's just say, okay, I'll just be real honest with you. He was pretty crotchety in the beginning. um, he really got onto the care also and would like the help. They were both in their 90s, so and again, you just said about the care. It's not always about thinking they're weak. It's about their independence.
A
They
hundred
figure when
percent
they
right.
let someone in the home, they're losing some of their independence. And
Right.
they do not want to lose their independence above all things. They want to hold on to that independence with everything they have.
It's so
So,
true.
yes, so we worked with them. It went beautifully. Unfortunately, the missus got ill. She ended up in the hospital and she did pass.
Oh,
But that being said, the husband, who really didn't want the care to begin with, continued with the care on after she was gone. And there's a success story there in that he didn't want it to begin with, but he did allow us in, and then he allowed us to come back even when she wasn't there.
well, they're
So,
both success stories. It just,
yes,
she passed. There's nothing you can do about that, but you made whatever part of her life you were in easier and better, and that is a huge success.
yeah, and I think with care management, I think anytime we get in to help a client, this is just an example of care management, I've done it also,
Mhm.
is a positive because I had a care management client and he's fairly independent. He thinks he's way more independent than he really was,
Mhm.
but I was able to get him some help. He refused to go to the hospital, and one morning I got a call from the caregiver who said, "I can't really get him to wake up," and I'm like, "You are dialing 911 right now." And he
Right.
said, "But he doesn't want me to." I said, "I don't care what he wants. If you don't dial, I dial."
Right.
So we did. We got him to the hospital. He had a massive infection.
Oy.
So, he wasn't willing to go, but if we didn't have someone there pushing the cart along, he wouldn't
Mhm.
have went, and he had sepsis.
Wow.
So, it was important, and we got him there. We got him the treatment he needed. He needed IV antibiotics for a while. We got him into rehab, and then he came home and he was ready to resume his life again. So,
That's fantastic.
there's instances where even in aides, aides that come in, they don't they don't have the clinical training, but once they're with this client for a certain amount of time, they'll realize when they come in, oh, Mr. Smith isn't acting like he
Right.
did yesterday or the day before. He seems
Sure.
lethargic. He seems, and so they'll call in and say something's not right with Mr. Smith. And then we have a nurse, and our nurses, as part of what we offer, they would go out and assess him. One of our nurses would. We have nurses that do an assessment at the beginning of the care, and that sets up for the care plan for the aide. And
Mhm.
then they go in every 30 to 60 days and do another assessment just to make sure everything's going well. And if we would get a call like that, we would send one of our nurses out to check them and see what's going on. Is their blood pressure okay? If they have a blood sugar issue, is their blood sugar good? So those are all things we do as part of our care, of our daily care
It's
that we do.
tremendous. It's tremendous, and
So,
it's
how
so
do they
needed.
reach you, Stephanie? How would
Pardon
they
me,
find
please.
you? Somebody
Um,
listening or watching, how do they
yes,
find you?
I have a phone number, so they can reach us. Hold on 1 minute, because I don't call it very often. I don't call the office very often, and really, we do a lot of things on chat, Outlook chat. So um, even when I do, I call them directly to their lines. But they can call me directly. My business cell is 728 201 4298. I'm
One more time.
available.
One more
If
time.
I don't answer, it's because I'm with a client or I'm out in the community speaking with someone. As soon as I get the message, I will call them back and we'll address whatever their needs are. And then our office is 561-393. See, you guys are catching me now because I got to figure out the rest of the numbers. Okay, let me start all over. It's 561-393-0609. That goes directly to our office, and both offices, one or the other office will answer, and then depending on their needs, they'll transfer them to the right office.
Is there a
So,
website, Stephanie?
I'm sorry, please.
Is there a website also?
Yes, www.caringpeople.com.
Beautiful.
And they can go on there. It gives a lot of information itself. Just to add to that, when you're talking about our website, when we hire new aides, all of our aides are employees. They're not a 1099. So they must go through fingerprinting. They go through a background check. And we have a program called Caring People University. And they have to go on there and do so many classes on there to get started. So they are fairly well trained before they go out in the field, besides what they had to do to get licensed. So,
Beautiful. I've
That's
never
great.
heard of I've never heard of a company that has that sort of education in place.
yes,
I think that that's a huge benefit to a client. I mean,
yes. Our
and the
team
fact
is
that they're paid employees and not 1099s that
Yeah,
bounce from place to place. Because you know what? There's nothing worse than getting attached to someone
yes, and then
and
having them
all the
leave.
effort it takes to get attached to an aide, only to find out that next Thursday is a different one, and Friday's a different one, and
mhm,
Monday's a whole different one. So
Yes,
I think that's part of your success. That comes from caring, Stephanie.
yes,
absolutely.
yes. And I do care. It's I guess the word now is empath. I guess I'm an empath because I am. I've never heard that in nursing. We just say you have empathy, but now they're calling it empaths. Um,
Right.
I do have empathy, a lot of empathy. I can understand what people are going through and really empathize with them. As a nurse, we can't sympathize, but we will empathize with them.
Of course.
So it's very important, if you don't care about people or care about what's happening, especially to our geriatric population, then you're in the wrong business, as you
For
as you
sure.
both know,
For
because you
sure.
help a lot of seniors.
100%.
So,
I mean,
you know,
that's exactly how we started. We started because we went through it.
Hmm.
And we figured if we've been through it and we didn't know what we're doing, now we 100% know what we're doing. And why not share it and create a shortcut?
Of
that's
course.
right. That's right. So it's just a matter of wanting and caring, and I have a daughter who's very caring. She loves the geriatric population, and she's a young person, but she's always had that in her heart to care for them. But she does get aggravated, like, Mom, it's the weekend. Why are you working? You're not supposed to work the weekends. And I'm like, it's part of the job, and
Right.
you do what you need to do, and this is, all part of it.
Right. Of
So,
course.
it's just, it is what it is. And I stay involved in the community. I'm involved with Alzheimer's. I'm involved with Parkinson's. I'm out there trying to keep myself involved and really know what's going on and be available to people as it's needed.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
I can't thank you enough, Stephanie, for sharing. And I think for lots of folks, lots of our subscribers that are listening and watching, I hope you all are having a big aha
Mm.
moment because you don't have to go it alone. You don't have to, and not only don't you have to, you probably shouldn't.
Right.
Candidly, you probably shouldn't. Um, Call a professional and one who cares, one who's different. That person, of course, is Stephanie Perkaus, and caring people, and do yourselves a favor, do your family a favor, and most importantly, do your parents a favor if that's who you're caring for. So, Joelle, you want to wrap us up?
Sure. So if anybody needs any help with moving, we are a move management company. We specialize with seniors. We do everything from soup to nuts, the packing, the unpacking, the organizing, hanging up photos. You will be in your bed that night, able to sleep in your new home. And I highly recommend it because when I moved in with my parents, they moved on their own. They hired a mover who packed and unpacked. And when I got here, the garage was completely full and it took me months to sort through everything. If I had known about move managers, I would have hired one in a second. And you can reach us at our website, www.yourdependablepartner.com, or you can call me directly on my cell at 443 277 3160. Brian, you want to tell them your
Sure.
cell?
443-324-8424. You can also, you gave our website, but really, if you want a smooth move, you don't realize it till after the fact. So go in the right way. Not only, I mean, we do everything Joel said, but if things need to be auctioned, we can handle that. If things need to be donated, we'll handle
Mhm.
that. If things need to be shipped to relatives out of town, we'll handle that. Literally, we want to make it painless. And that move is sometimes, it's a lot to chew off. And we're going to make sure it's smooth. And as Joel said, most importantly, the person who's making the move to an adult community is going to be in their bed, by the way, unpacked, pictures up, and ready for the coming day. So, that's what we do. And again, Stephanie, thank you so much for being
Yes,
here.
thank you.
Folks, if you like this, hit the subscribe button below. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments, and we'll be back next week with another episode of Your Smooth Move from yourdependablepartner.com.